Hello, everybody. This is the Chocolate News Podcast. I'm your co-host, John Alexander Reese.
And I'm your co-host, Andria Carter.
And if you did not know, the Cincinnati Area has been around since 1955 and is the leading African American owned newspaper in the greater Cincinnati area and northern Kentucky area. How's it going, Andrea?
It's going fine. It's almost Memorial Day weekend. I'm ready to party and soak up some sun and have a good time.
Yes, most definitely. The weather is fantastic, and like you said, I am ready to enjoy Memorial Day weekend.
Because it's a great day. I've been really, really busy, and it's going to be a great time to get together with some friends and just hang out, catch up on a little work, but really just hang out and have a good time. So I'm really looking forward to it.
Oh yeah, definitely. So, Andrea, what is the chocolate news of the week?
The chocolate news of the week. It's starting off with two sad notes. And the first sad note is we lost Tina Turner today. I
Yes,
am
very sad.
if anyone, I think the generations, if you're anybody, you know Tina Turner. Baby boomers know her from from the early rock and roll days with Ike, and then to the domestic violence situation. She was silent. She had the Vegas act, and then she came back with her album that relaunched her career, Private Dancer, and that established her as a rock and roll legend because she went from 60s esque band to no, she went from a duet to solo. And not only did she kick it, she loved it. And so, if everyone, her early hits were Nutbush City, Nutbush City Limits, I should say, River Deep. Everyone knows that the River Deep, Mountain High, and then the very famous Proud Mary, where she starts out, we're going to do it easy, nice and slow, blah, 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 and then we're going to do it rough. And, then you break into Proud Mary. Everyone may not realize it, but when during Glee, if anyone's a Glee fan out there, they sang these hit songs on Glee and did a very good job of, you know, um, really supporting her music and showcasing it in a very new contemporary way. Then we have, all the luck from the Private Dancer, and she met her husband and everything. So I'm just kind of sad. She also was in a couple of songs. She did the remake of Al Green's Let's Stay Together. Everyone knows what's love got to do with it. I'm sure everyone's going to be playing her songs now. She was introduced to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 2008. There was the Broadway musical about her music and about her life. And now then she went to retirement. Oprah Winfrey was a huge fan of hers. So I'm sorry to see her go, but her music and her star power will live on forever. And it was just so sad that we lost her.
Yeah, it is very sad. And, a lot of people knew her as the Queen of Rock and Roll, so that's quite an honor.
Oh, I mean, it's. I would just say that when you have Grandmaster Flash and Sierra and a number of people on Twitter and Facebook all saying, oh my God, it's like when Prince died, Tina,
Yeah,
oh my
right.
God, and she had her legs, everyone loved her legs, just unbelievable. And the energy she really just showed on the stage and in her music, and the passion, I think, just showed how much who she really was. And on top of that, she won 11 Grammys. So I
Wow.
mean, she's an award-winning rock legend, and I know when they have someone's going to do a tribute to her someplace. So I know we'll be seeing somebody do something soon. So I'm looking forward to that. The other sad note is Jim Brown.
Yeah.
And I'm just he was an NFL legend, movie star. He was an activist. I mean, he and Rockwell Welch, those iconic poster pictures of the first movie he starred in, which just really blew everyone away. And And then from there, he was in Dirty Dozen, which is a great film, by the way. If anyone has not seen the original version of Dirty Dozens, he did an excellent job in that.
Oh yeah.
And he had a tough life, and he grew up with his grandmother, helped raise him when his mother couldn't do it. He played football, and then from there, he was a Cleveland Brown person. So he was known for the Cleveland Browns, and he was unstoppable on the field. And he set the tone. He was he earned an induction into the Pro Football Hall of Fame in '71. In between that, he starred in over 30 films, including The Dirty Dozen, 100 Rifles, Any Given Sunday. The National Newspaper Publishers Association remembers him. And also remember that funny film called Mars Attack? He was in that too. So he had
He
no shame.
sure was. I remember him now. He was the I'm trying to remember who he was, but he was one of the people in Vegas. I remember at the
Yes.
end he was fighting the Martians.
Yes.
Got in a fist fight with Martians.
There's a movie for everybody. So they were, everyone knows him when you see him. He was just unbelievable. So I'm sorry to say that, we lost a great guy in Jim Brown.
Yeah.
And then, but speaking of greats, speaking of goats, Serena Williams, if you haven't heard, she's working on another documentary about her life with ESPN to take a look more at tennis, how she affected tennis, how, she, over 20 years, she ruled tennis, 23 Grand Slams and singles, how just, she and her sister set the tone in tennis, but she especially, with her give it all spirit and everything. And I think, HBO took a look at her life, especially when she was getting ready to marry her husband and have a child and things like that. So I think it's just wonderful that she's going to do another documentary about her life and the impact that she's had on tennis and how she's moving on, and she's becoming an awesome businesswoman, supporting not only the Black community, but supporting women who are all trying to start their businesses, who has an idea and looking at ways to help them. She's a venture capitalist, helping startups. So I think she's moving into a good space, and she's pregnant again. So she's going to
Yeah.
have the second child. And I know everyone has joked about her and her husband, O'Hannon, who started Reddit, but you know what? He's the goofy guy who got the girl, and
Yeah.
it's sticking. So I
Yeah.
ain't mad at him. So I mean, I think it's fantastic because she can give a lot of shade, and he can give it right back. And that's how he won her. If you ever hear that story of how they met, and she told him off, and he told her right back, and she was like, "Oh, okay," and that sparked her interest. And so the goofy guy got the girl. So, or what is it? The nerd got the girl, got the hot
Yeah.
girl, or something
Right.
like that.
Yeah.
That classic iconic tale. So, I feel sorry for all the brothers who dated her and couldn't handle it. That says something right there, guys. That
Yeah.
says something.
Yeah, exactly.
Confident women get past your insecurities and go with it. You never know what you may get or how they help you out. So, she loves her husband. So,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
but I can't wait to see the documentary and see what, how that story is going to evolve.
Yeah. I'm not usually into sports documentaries, but I think I'll make an exception for this one.
You know what? I'm not either, but when someone has a unique story and I happen to see it, I will look at it, whether
Right.
it's golf, tennis, soccer, all the unusual sports, even skateboarding, alternative skiing. No, what is that? Snowboarding. I've watched a number of stories about how athletes who have tried and done something unique and remarkable, and what it took, the struggles, their passion. So I think she has a unique story to tell as a Black woman. I think is a role model that she's going to continue to be one for a long time to come.
Oh, yes.
So we go from athletics to politics.
Oh, yes, my favorite.
And it's interesting. So, we have people running on the Democratic side and we have people running on the Republican side. Some of the candidates are lackluster. They're not getting a lot of play, but it's interesting whoever jumps into the fray. We have a lot of people who have run before or thinking about running again. If anyone doesn't know Senator Tim Scott, he first came to prominence during the election of the Speaker McCarthy in the U.S. House, and he was put up as opposition to McCarthy by the Republicans. And he spoke and gave a nice speech and everything. But he's a Black man from South Carolina who's a Republican. And yes, we have Black Republicans.
Yes, they're
And
rare.
they're very rare. We do have some Black people who are Republicans, have been Republicans since the end of time. And, and we do have some moderate Democrats who are slightly conservative and could lean Republican one way or the other. But anyway, Tim Scott has thrown his hat into the ring. He did his presidential announcement this week. His speech left you wondering what America he grew up in.
So basically, Clarence Thomas 2.0.
Oh, yes. Yes, you could say that. He talked about pulling himself up by the bootstraps, and he thanked his mother, which I think is always wonderful when everyone thanks their mother. She's done a lot to make sure he got an education. He went to college, things like that. He thanked his mentors. But when you start spouting the usual Republican rhetoric, and it goes against the experiences of being a Black person in America, you have a problem.
Yeah.
And, the way he spoke, he said Black people don't have a problem in America. Black people just,
that's
we're doing
funny.
what we needs to be done. It was like, what's wrong with you? I mean, I was shouting at the TV because he said some things about Joe Biden when it's not true. Joe Biden got us through COVID. Joe Biden saved this country, got this country back up and running. Joe Biden made sure we had vaccines to protect us from COVID. He made sure we had protocols. This country was in the toilet thanks to the previous administration. To say otherwise is sad, very sad. We're
Yeah.
all benefiting from what Joe Biden has accomplished, despite the oppositions, despite what's been going on.
Yeah. Look, I'm not
Um,
I'm not Joe Biden's biggest fan, but I will say he's handled the pandemic, pretty smoothly, as best as he could. Handled it better than Trump.
yes,
I'll
and
say
and
that much.
and I would say because of his experience, because of his relationships, he's been handling our foreign affairs. He's been handling the money. Some things have been rocky. Not everything has been great. I've not been pleased with everything. But in terms of who is standing up and wants to run to represent my interests, you're going to have a hard time to convince me not to go with the team we have in office now. Hard
Yeah.
time. Because, the reason why I can go see my father is because I followed all the protocols. The
Hmm.
reason why my father, when I visited him, I did not give him COVID because I followed the protocols. I followed, I'm it's just, it is what it is. So we got Tim Scott, but Tim Scott's not the only Black man in the race. Larry Elder,
Oh,
if everyone
Larry
remembers,
Elder.
you remember Larry Elder, the
Yeah,
radio show host?
I remember he tried to run for governor of California during that recall election.
Yes, it's just Larry is special. He's also a Republican, a Black Republican, who again doesn't know. I won't say he's Clarence Thomas 2.0 like Tim, but Larry's got some problems as well.
Listen,
One,
I've listened to Larry Elder before. He does say a couple insightful things, but I think he still is not, what's the word I'm looking for? I think he's kind of ignorant of like the Black experience. He's
Yes.
another like pull yourself up from your bootstraps type of guy. I'm just like, I don't think you totally. I mean, I hate to say it, another black man, you don't get the black experience, but sometimes when some of these black Republicans are talking, it's like they're completely ignorant to the black experience, which I don't know. I just don't get. I don't want to say they're in the sunken place, but using a Jordan Peele reference on Get Out, but they might be in the sunken place. I don't know.
I mean, if you think about it, right now, running against 45, who's seeking a reelection.
Yeah,
Well,
Florida
I should
man.
not reelection, but he's seeking another term in office. The Florida guy. And then you have South Carolina's governor, former governor Nikki Haley, who
Yeah,
was our U.S. ambassador. She speaks a good game, but her actions, no. Former Arkansas Governor Asa Hutchinson, again speaks a good game, but does not come across well when it's a large audience. We have an entrepreneur, Vivek Ramaswamy. I think that's how you pronounce
yeah.
his
He's
name. He's
he went
from,
to he went to St. X, right? He's
yes,
Cincinnati, right?
he's from the greater Cincinnati area. In fact, he's the reason why CNN host, the one who got fired,
Oh, Don
Don's
Lemon, right?
Don Lemon. He's the reason why Don Lemon got fired. Well, I should say he's the catalyst that helped get Don Lemon fired, because they had an argument back and forth about the experiences of Black people and what Black people can do. And I think the party shot from Don Lemon was, when you have an experience like Black people, let me know. We'll have a discussion. Because Ramaswamy is Indian, and Indian people, people of color, have different experiences of racism.
Oh yeah,
And some are more accepted than others. So there was that argument. And then so we have, there are other names that have been mentioned about jumping into the 2024 Republican primary race for the nomination, for the presidential nomination. So it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out.
yeah. It should be
So
interesting.
but I think at the same time it shows, I will say this, it shows progress that we have two Black people running for the presidential candidacy, which I find very interesting. One is more popular than the other. I would say that they have a long way to go. It's a long shot for both of them, only because they have both. Larry Elder has been on the national stage in a different way, and it's hard for an entertainer of any prospect to go from entertainer-esque to politician, especially when you have not proven your worth per se.
Well, you know
Arnold
what? Trump did it. So any
Trump did it.
I think anything's possible now. If a reality TV star can become president, you know what? I think anyone can become president now.
Well,
I think it's anything goes at this point.
it's anything that goes. Arnold Schwarzenegger did it, but
Yeah,
I think he, when he was married to his wife, he tempered his Republican views and became more moderate per se.
right.
And he became more of a people person because of the people he had around him. I think, anything is possible.
Yeah,
I'm not, I mean, Barack Obama came out of the blue and became president, but also his tone was set when he gave that speech at the Democratic convention 4 years before he ran for office, and everyone was going like, "Who is this guy? Where did he come from?" And
right.
that's when his elevation began. I think Larry Elder and Tim Scott have not elevated themselves to that manner the way they need to be elevated. I think Tim Scott, he has a shot. And I think it was nice. He had a nice crowd when he announced in South Carolina. I think he talks the talk that some Republicans like to hear. He also gives the idea that he possibly can be easily controlled. He'll do what other people want. He doesn't set his own. I haven't heard him set his own tone to be his own politician like
It,
Barack did.
you know what Tim Scott reminds me of? It Tim Scott reminds me of the type of black person like white people will say like, "Oh, I'm not racist. I'm voting for a black person."
Hmm.
That's the kind of vibe Tim Scott is putting
He
out.
he's safe. He's not
Yeah,
woke, but he's safe.
yeah.
So I think he's gonna, do well. I have not seen him debate, but I think he's gonna give someone a good run for money to talk a good game. So we'll see. Larry
Oh,
Elder, no. I
oh,
mean, we'll cover him, see how he does, but no. Um,
all I gotta say is that the primaries should be interesting. They should be very entertaining.
they will be, and also there's also this perspective, well, possibility, I should say, of Joe Manchin from West Virginia. He's technically a Democrat, but leans Republican. He may throw his hat in the ring as a no label candidate, which some Democrats fear because he will um, take votes away from Biden. Joe Manchin would make Republicans feel safe to vote for a Democrat. But at the same time, you wonder why Joe Manchin wants to do this. He doesn't come across well. He is a guy from West Virginia who has found some national fame because he controlled the narrative because he refused their vote on some stuff. Other than that, he was a nobody. He was not known until he was in a position to control the vote in the Senate for some things with Kristen Sinema. They're both, but other than that, they're both unknowns. They're politically wonky. They go with the way the wind blows, and they've proven that they're not trustworthy in a political sense. Only because they're both wishy washy from that perspective. So it's going to be interesting to see what they do.
Yeah.
And I just also former Governor Larry Hogan of Maryland is thinking about jumping into the races and as a no label as well. So it's going to be interesting. Everyone, anything is possible. I think it would be interesting if we had a a non third party run, so to speak,
Well,
to
you know
see
what?
how.
I've always maintained that we need like a strong third party. It's like, and I don't know if that's going to happen anytime soon because libertarians can't get anything done. Green Party definitely can't get anything done. They can't even get on the
No,
board.
no.
So I'm just like, we really need a strong, like moderate party, but I don't know if that's going to happen anytime soon. So
It's going to be interesting to see what happens because I mean, really and truly, the GOP is split between MAGNA and moderates
yeah,
or regular Republicans.
right.
And it's going to be interesting to see, um, when they do the polling, Trump leads, but everyone's tired of the crap that he spews. He's not talking about how to better the country. He's talking about how he lost the election and now the fact that he's facing criminal charges and trials and civil. He's just upset. Oh, the witch hunt is this, is that. I was like, no, you're finally being forced to take responsibility for your actions, which no one ever forced you to do before. And and it's finally, the fact that his lawyers sent that letter to the AG saying, "Oh, come on, it's unfair what Jack Smith, the special prosecutor, is doing. Come on." So what? Man up. You did these things. Now you gotta take the lumps along with your actions. You did this, you were complicit, you had people around you who were complicit with you. It's time to man up and take the lumps. So, I mean, even his own wife is supposedly renegotiating her prenup. This race is going to be interesting. Oh, and then Ron DeSantis also jumped into the fray, but I call him Baby Trump.
Or Trump light,
Baby Trump.
baby.
Um, and even his launch was disastrous. I mean, his whole campaign, pre-campaign, working as the governor of Florida is disastrous from day one. He wants to be like Trump-esque but he can't do it. He can't pull it off with the same quote finesse. And I use that loosely with parentheses, like Trump. And I would just say that he needs more seasoning. Two, if you're gonna do discrepancy, illegal political stuff, learn how to do it first before you do it. Cause it's crap. What he's doing is crappy. And it's bad. So, but that is the chocolate news for today. I hope everyone has a great Memorial Day weekend. And I'll give it back to you, John.
Thank you. But as far as Memorial Day weekend goes, I am going to the Taste of Cincinnati because that is a Memorial Day staple of mine. I've been doing that with my dad for like, I don't know, like 5 years, I think. We just decided to go on Memorial Day, Taste Cincinnati. So if you're listening to this and going to the Taste of Cincinnati, you know what? It's like have fun. It's definitely an awesome event. And I know there are plenty of other things to do on Memorial Day weekend. Also, I know the Little Mermaid's coming out on Friday too. So I might see that this weekend, but Memorial Day, it's fun. Have fun, enjoy the weather, go to a cookout, do what you want to do.
Well, I think what's going to be interesting, what's unique about the taste, as it has evolved over the years. Not only do you have the restaurants participating, but you now got the food trucks participating.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And I mean the list of the food trucks. Oh my God, I didn't realize there were that many here. Wow. Um,
Yeah.
and the variety of them. You got, I'll just say, you have a Taste of Soul, Bistro, Buffalo Bass, Diane Hawaii. I didn't know that. Diane Hawaiian. You have House Cafe and Catering, Indigenous Chef, Jamaican Grill, Little Trolley Donuts. Oh, there's a Nigerian one. Oh, hello.
Ooh, that should be interesting.
Creole Kitchen, Off the Hook, Sea Cuisine Food Truck. That's interesting. The Mexican Village, Twisted Greek. So there's a nice variety, even with the restaurants. You got the usual ones like Mecklenburg Gardens. You got the Melting Pot. You have Sweet Meat, Korean Stone Bowl, Korean, Shanghai on Elm, which is used to be Shanghai Mamas. Now it's Shanghai on Elm. I
Oh,
love
that's
their
right.
food. Yes. I have not been. I'm ashamed to say I have not been to Shanghai Mamas since they moved to Elm Street. I'm gonna have to make it a point after Memorial Day to go there and reacquaint myself with their menu because their sushi is fantastic and their dumplings are wonderful. I just love their food, especially late at night.
Mm.
Then the usual just Kewen's going to be down there. Izzy's, which is a Cincinnati staple. La Rosa's Pizza, another Cincinnati staple, is going to be down there. Christine's Casual Dining, Cheesecakery. Oh my God! Even the empanada place is going to be there. So I mean, everyone's going to find something down there. Going to from Latino food, Korean, Jamaican, African, to even Izzy's, which is just great deli food, kosher deli food, I should say.
Okay.
And they're always good for a good sandwich, and including their potato pancakes. I
All right.
love their potato pancakes. So I wish everyone enjoy the taste, go hungry, get full, enjoy the music, enjoy the beer, have a great time. Also, wear plenty of sunscreen, take some hand sanitizer with you just to be on the safe side, and just enjoy yourselves.
Yep. All right. Well, that's it for today's show. I want to thank Andrew again for all that good chocolate news.
Oh, my pleasure.
And remember, folks, you can find more information about today's topics and past podcast episodes at www.thecincinnatihero.com, the/newsletter, or on our social media. We're on Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, Instagram, and LinkedIn. And make sure to subscribe to our podcast on your favorite podcast app. Our podcast is on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, TuneIn Radio, Amazon, YouTube, and Google Podcasts. In addition, the Cincinnati Herald is now looking for news distribution and delivery agents. Please contact our publisher, Walter White, at 513-680-7076 for more information. And also, one little thing, don't forget to sign up for Owning It, a home ownership webinar, which is free. It's on Saturday, June 17th from noon to 1:30. And if you want the link for that, it's on our website. Just click the ad, and it's on all of our social media. Just click the links on our social media to sign up for that. Hurry, sign up, find out how to be a homeowner. It's really, really good seminar. I've been to several of them. They're awesome. I'm John Alexander
Mhm.
Reese,
And I'm Andrea Carter.
and have a good day.